Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of Dan and Jan Go Yard. There's Jan Sumner right there on your screen.
Yo,
I'm Dan Goldberg. I'm just a baseball oldie and a freak, but
freak. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a baseball freak. But Jan spent 6 years as the batting practice pitcher for the Colorado Rockies in the major leagues with major league ball players and with major league stuff going on. And we were talking before I hit the record button about an incident that Jan wrote about in one of his books. So, Jan, I turn it over to you. What book was it? And tell us about it.
Okay. It was the first book I wrote. And I wrote it. This is interesting. I wrote it all in single syllables. No. Fat Pitch, my six
That
seasons
pitch
with the
by
Rockies.
6 ago. Right.
So, and it describes my 6 years throwing BP for them, how I got the job and, all that. And because I was old, I was older than most of the coaches when I started throwing BP, and I had to kind of keep that under the covers. To digress for a second, the original general manager of the Rockies was a guy named Bob Gebhardt,
Oh,
and
okay.
he'd been in baseball forever, and he was a hard-nosed son of a gun. I mean, he ran a tight ship and whatever. And again, I had tried to keep my age, because I thought if they thought, you've got a 50-year-old guy throwing BP, he's not going to last all season. So I just didn't tell anybody. I don't think they really cared. Anyway, we had a famous sports announcer here, radio guy and ex-coach, and named Irv Brown, who covered a lot of TV and radio stuff. And I played ball for Irv when I was younger. So one day, I'm out. Shagging flies in the outfield was the most fun. That was way more fun than throwing BP. So I'm out in right field and I'm shagging, and I look in, and Irv is leaning. He's on the outside of the Rockies dugout, and he's leaning on the rail, and he's talking to somebody. I thought, I mean, he and I went way back till when I was 14, 15.
Wow.
So I ran in to say hi to him. So I ran up, and he's talking to Gebhardt. And hey, Irv, and Jan Sumner, he always said the same thing. Jan Sumner, the old hard-throwing right-hander. How are you? Which was all cool until he said, I had this guy back in the 60s pitching. And I'm going, shut up. Shut up. And I can see Gebhardt go, 60s? And I'm thinking, thanks, Irv. You just fried me. And Gebhardt looks right at me and he goes, I don't care how old he is. If he can throw BP, I'm okay with it.
Oh, man, that's great.
Yeah. And then I slugged Irv and went back out to right. Anyway, so I wrote this book after I was done, Fat Pitch. And, it was 2 years after I finished throwing BP. So Karen and I, my wife and I, are up hiking in the Grand Tetons, which we loved to do and still do. And, there's bears, you're hiking back up into these canyons, and we were hiking, and we came across a woman, older woman by herself. And hi, and her name was Miriam. She was from England. Oh, hello, how are you? And I said, are you hiking by yourself? And she said, oh, yes, I am. My husband and I used to love to hike, but he passed away, so I just keep. And I said, it's not advisable to be alone doing this. Why don't you stay with us? You can hike with us. So she did. Well, we kind of became friends. And she was an English teacher in England.
That's convenient. English and England, yeah.
Yeah, redundant, but So I we got to talking at breakfast one morning, and I said, what do you do? And so I told her, and I've written a book, and she didn't know squat about baseball. And I said, yeah, I wrote this book called Fat Pitch. It's about my experiences throwing. She said, oh, I would love to read it. And I said, really? I mean, you don't know anything about it. Oh, no, I would love to. So I gave her a copy. A couple days later, we're going to have breakfast again. Now, do you know what the term shagging means in England?
Yes, I think it means what we're not allowed to say on camera in America.
Having intimate relationships.
Correct.
So we're at breakfast, and she had read the book. And she says to me, Jan, I have a big question. I said, oh, yes, ma'am, what is it? And she said, tell me about this shagging flies in the outfield. And
Those
I,
little suckers. How do you do that?
I thought, did she actually envision I was in the out looking? I just,
That's hysterical.
is that just, and she was dead serious.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm
So when
sure.
I told her, no, 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 it means we just run around and catch the ball, you know, and, oh, she was so relieved because I think she thought, I'm not having breakfast with this pervert anymore.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Is it?
Uh,
Yeah.
Dragonflies. Yeah, I know what it means in England, but boy, is that a different meaning in the United States. Totally.
I
Totally.
didn't even think of it, and, until she mentioned it. And then I thought, oh, good Lord, she thinks that's what all the ball players do. They run around.
That's great. That is
Yeah.
fun.
Anyway, it was, you can't make that stuff up.
No, you can't. But by the way, talking about shagging flies
Okay. You mean the ones in baseball?
in baseball,
Okay.
there was a guy, I can't remember if it was last night or the night before. The Phillies were playing the Reds out in Cincinnati. Okay, Great American Ballpark, or as some people call it, Great American Small Park. I didn't realize that because so many home runs are hit there.
Yeah.
And there was a guy standing in the bleachers in the outfield, left field, in a full Cincinnati uniform with a baseball glove and waiting for somebody to hit one to him, hit a home run.
Yeah.
That's what he was
Did
doing.
they? Did
No,
anybody?
no. And he stood there the whole game.
He never sat down?
No, they kept taking shots of him at different times with the camera, and he was always standing with his glove in his uniform. Uh, and he wasn't a ball player; he was
Right.
just a fan.
Fan.
And so he was just waiting to catch something, maybe flies, but he was waiting to catch something. Which brings me to my point about our one of our topics today, anyway,
Yeah.
and that is uh, great plays in the field. Great. We talk about pitching and we talk about hitting,
Right.
but I'd like to talk about those guys that are tremendous ball players in the field. They just know how to catch the ball. They make all the plays. It's very rare when they make a mistake. And because I was watching Bryson Stott and Alec Bohm yesterday, and they're just incredible. And so is Bryce Harper at first base. He just turned into an amazing ball player. So, in all your years with the your major league background, um, and I know specifically we'd be talking about the Rockies, but anybody else you saw, uh, who are the best fielders that you can remember? Infield, outfield, catchers, whatever.
Well, if we start behind the dish, this is just my opinion, which is of course accurate. Um, and I saw catchers from the 50s on up.
Hmm.
Um, you know, Berra and Campanella and Elston Howard and all the way up.
Yeah, yeah. And Campanella was from Philly, by the way.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was. And those guys, that was early on breaking the color barrier, so
yeah,
it
yeah.
was a lot of pressure. But for my money, I there was a catcher here. He's not my investment guy, but he was the last All-American position player to come out of Colorado. Played up at
Wow.
CU,
Right.
Dennis Serbo, and he's the best catcher I ever threw. He said, and I think this is true, there are catchers and there are receivers,
Ah,
and there's a difference.
yeah.
And the greatest receiver, which is in my mind an uptick from being a catcher,
Mm.
was Yadier Molina.
Oh, yeah.
He just, you never, you virtually never saw a ball get by him. He knew
Hmm.
how to block. You know, I was around enough, when some kid foolishly decides to be a catcher, if a
Yeah.
ball's in the dirt, don't try to catch it,
Try to block it.
block it.
Yeah.
But today it's reach out with the gloves and but Molina was, and he knew how to work uh, pitchers and hitters. He studied it. He's going to be a manager someday. I'll bet you. And I just the way he would receivers, they just when he would frame a pitch, it was very gentle, subtle, instead of yanking it in there.
Right.
And anyway, for my money, now I Pudge Rodriguez was. This is an interesting story about Pudge. Uh, Talk about a cannon. I would love to have seen him on the mound. I bet
Mm.
I bet he could have easily touched 100.
Wow.
But the first time when Coors opened, the first time the Astros came here, uh, Dante Bichette wanted to take some early BP
Right.
before we started. So they asked me, "Would you go out and shag?" And uh, so I went out. I'm in center field, shagging fly balls,
Right.
and here's Pudge. He's out early playing catch.
Wow.
Now I'm in center field. He's kind of behind me, and he's got a guy over just beyond the left field line. So we're talking uh, 250, 275 feet.
Wow.
And he's throwing the ball to this guy on a straight line. I I just and he was a real nice. He says, "Will you watch me? I mean, guard me." And I said, "Yeah." In case Bichette hit one out there,
Yeah.
and I mean, he's like 6 feet behind me throwing that way, and the other guy's lobbing it, arcing it back, but he's throwing bullets. So
Wow.
Bichette hits a couple of home runs up into the scoreboard,
Right.
kind of over us. And Pudge stops and he's watching this, and I mean Bichette had good power.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I said, "First time here, right?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "This is after one hits this," and I said, "You're going to really like it here." And he said, "I know. I think I will." But he was another one who the ball didn't get by him. He was a receiver.
Who's he playing for at the time?
Astros.
Astros.
Yeah, yeah, he
Oh,
was,
right, you said that. Yeah.
and nobody. I don't know what his pop time to second was, but it had to be at the top of the charts. You couldn't outrun. You can't outrun the ball, and
No, yeah, yeah.
he just. And it wasn't just that he had a gun; he was accurate.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was. It was on the bag.
yeah.
And I don't think a lot of guys tried to steal. You might be able to steal on the pitcher, but
Right,
you're
right,
not going to steal on Pudge.
right.
I never had the guts to ask him why, because he was not pudgy. How'd you get the name Pudge? But
He,
um,
he's in the hall, isn't he? Or he should be.
yeah, if he isn't, he should be.
Yeah.
He was, and he was a good hitter.
That was very good.
You
Very good.
know, and
Yeah, power.
yeah, and he wasn't a big guy.
No.
I mean, he was standing. I was taller than he was, but that
That's
arm was.
that's why I thought I could make it because I was taller than Pudge Rodriguez. But no, it was not to be.
No, don't, Dan, do not give up the dream. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, the Phillies did call me and they said, we're thinking about having you in center field. I said, great, I'll be there. He said, yes, because we have a lot of trash that we need picked up out there. And the guys that work the field, they don't want to pick it up. I said, I'll be there. I'll be there.
you didn't hang up. I would have never.
No, no, not at all.
Anyway, that for me, that's Yadier's the best catcher I've ever seen.
Did were you around when Dalton played?
Oh yeah,
Dalton? Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, were you with the Rockies when Darren Dalton was there with the Phillies, or was it Lieberthal, or was it the
I
JT
don't I
Luto?
don't remember.
Yeah,
No, it would have been probably Dalton.
Dalton. Yeah, he was good.
Yeah,
He was good, but Rodriguez and Molina, Yadier. Then he had brother Benji Molina,
right, right. Yeah, but he
and
just there was such an air with Molina. There was such an air of confidence behind
hmm
the plate with him. I mean, I think pitchers, that's if you're a pitcher, it's huge that you have the utmost confidence in the catcher.
sure, absolutely,
Not necessarily to call the game, but to handle your pitches. I'm
correct,
going to throw a slider in the dirt. There's a guy on second, or even worse, on third. Are you going to block this and knock it down and the guy doesn't move up?
right,
And I think with those two guys, for pitchers, that was never even a question. That
yeah,
ball ain't getting by them.
yeah.
And you never saw them with catcher interference. See, that's a catcher. They reach out too far. That
Yeah,
receiver receives the ball back. Yeah.
yeah. That's a great point. Catcher and receiver. Yeah,
Yeah. And as a pitcher, you can quickly tell the difference.
I bet.
You know, who you're throwing to and
I, I would think that um, one of the if you have the skills, I mean, a lot of guys have the skills and they never make it to the majors, right? They're good. They're very, very good, but they don't make it to the majors. But a great receiver who has the skills may have an easier time getting to the majors because I don't, maybe it's me, but I don't think that there's a lot of great catchers. Yeah, yeah, I could be wrong,
you
but
mean today?
yeah, today.
Well, I don't I and we've talked about this, whether it's catcher, infielders, whatever.
Right.
I just really question what's being taught, or in maybe more appropriately, what's not being taught today.
hmm
Um, it appears to me that so many catchers today set up poorly. They're not set up to block a ball. If I'm crouched on one knee down and this my left leg's out over here, I can't block a ball over there. I have to fold this leg up to get it's and well, last night I saw a clip of, I don't know who it was, the catcher. And they don't hide their throwing hand, their right hand. That cost Smith last year with the Dodgers big time.
Yeah.
He
Yeah, they
puts
don't.
it behind his leg now. Last night I saw a guy foul a ball, just and it hit his bat went down, got the catcher right in the hand, throwing hand. Out he goes.
Yeah.
You know, why is that not behind? Especially if nobody's on base.
Right.
And even if they are, maybe you fudge a little bit, but get it out of the way of harm.
You know, listen, if you're a baseball player, folks, if you're a hardball or a softball player and you're watching this, take Jan's words as gospel because
Well,
you don't want to lose, and I mean gospel in the
right,
colloquial sense,
right.
but you don't want to lose that hand. You don't want to lose your ability to throw back to the pitcher or throw somebody out at second. And a broken hand for a catcher, for anybody,
Yeah.
a ball player, but a broken hand for a catcher, uh, man, you're done. You're out for a season, if not
And
more.
if you're up at bat and a guy comes in on you and gets you in the hand with a fastball, that's an accident. Well,
Right.
presumably. But the hand thing is preventable. It's
Totally.
just tuck your hand away so that the foul ball is not going to
Hmm.
hit it. But again, how is this not being taught along the way? Tuck that hand away. I don't know.
It,
I
it
don't
is
know.
it is bizarre, and
Yeah, yeah.
and you know, JT Realmuto, he doesn't squat like a normal catcher. He's on one leg. You were talking
Mhm.
about that before, right?
Right.
He's on one leg. And I mean he's a great catcher.
Oh
He's
yeah.
a great receiver. But I wonder, and he's fast, but I wonder how that eventually will impact your stride as a hitter.
Well,
Just
they did a study years ago, and because squatting is not easy for 9 innings,
mm-mm,
um, and hitting is so much of hitting is in your legs.
right.
And they did a study and determined that after catchers caught X number of innings, it was directly proportional to a decrease in their batting average
Wow.
because they
Is that over a season or a career?
X number of innings,
X number of innings.
however long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, so guys, I mean, how many years did Molina catch for the Cardinals?
Almost forever, it seems like.
It
And he
did.
only played for the Cardinals. Never played for anybody else,
Yeah,
right?
it did not. I
Yeah.
think he's still with them as a bench coach or something. But uh,
Mm.
I just that there is a relationship between squatting so long, so much, and losing your wheels,
Yeah.
which is understandable.
Absolutely understandable.
Um,
And 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 I know that they transition a number of catchers, okay, to first base, or at
right,
least they go to first base sometimes. They play
right,
first base during the season.
right.
Uh, I think I've seen Real Muto play it just a few times because you got Harper in there. So,
Yeah,
you
sure.
know, but the Phillies have this um, Garrett Stubbs who hardly plays. He came up through the Astros system, and his brother is in the Astros system. They're both catchers. His
Hmm.
brother's much bigger than him, but he's got like a rocket arm. He's got a rocket arm. He plays third base, left field, pitcher, catcher. They use like when they need a position player to mop up at the end.
He's
He's
it.
the guy, right? He's the guy. He's been in left. He's He's been at third. But he does have this rocket arm, and it's always right on point. It's always right there at second base when the runner's sliding in. But he's blocked by JT Realmuto.
Mm,
You're not going to play that much when
right. Right.
Muto's your guy. So he gets in maybe once a week or something. And then they got another guy. They have three catchers.
Wow.
They got Marchand, they got Real Muto, and they have Stubbs. And when the roster thins out and gets rebuilt during the season, they brought him up for some reason. I think when Marchand got hurt, and then when it came time to send people back, he would have had to go through waivers. Marchand
Oh,
would have to go through waivers.
right.
So they decided to keep them both.
Sure. Yeah.
It's hard getting bats when
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
second or third. So he's also the pitch runner. He's the pinch runner, him and
Right.
Hill. But it's tough, man. It's
Oh, it
tough.
is. That's well, you know, that's a brutal position catch.
Brutal.
I don't know why anyone would want to do it, but
What do they call it? The tools of ignorance?
tools of ignorance. But they will tell you, I see the whole field.
That's true.
And they love that, nobody else has that perspective that they do. And it's constant,
Yeah.
every pitch. They're not standing around the outfield while the guy walks two people. And
Right.
so it's I mean, I personally don't understand it, but that's just me.
Like the quarterback.
Yeah,
They're like the quarterback.
yeah,
And,
yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. I certainly have thrown to a number of different catchers. I used to, after my freshman year in college, uh, you could only, when you were in high school, you could play for Legion teams.
yeah, right.
But then when you got to college, you couldn't do that anymore. So you had to play semi-pro.
Right.
And I'm going to actually post this on Substack tomorrow.
Yeah. If people want to get to your Substack, what do they do?
Jan
That's
Sumner Substack. That's it. Just go into Jan Sumner Substack.
cool.
It's called My Pastime Summer 64. And I pitched for an all black team.
Hmm.
And they were grown men. I was 19. Some of these guys had played in the Negro Leagues. My
Mm.
shortstop had played for the Denver Bears, AAA. I mean, they could flat play some baseball. And the catcher, Vern, he would almost be behind the plate doing the splits. I mean,
Wow.
he was an incredible catcher, and nobody ran on him.
Wow.
He came out of that like a cat and gunned the ball to second, and nobody, they knew in the league you don't run on Vern. I
Wow.
loved throwing to him. He was because he was down, he'd get down so low,
Yeah.
because he was so spread out. And
Wow.
these
That's cool.
guys, he would, I'm 19 and I'm around these 30 and 40-year-old men. And we played 23rd and Walton, which is near a famous part of Denver that was predominantly black back then, still to a great degree now, called 5 Points. And
What? 5 points?
5 Points. It was
Yeah.
five streets met,
Right.
and it's the most memorable summer of my life, summer
How'd
baseball
you
life.
get into that team?
They
How'd you get on?
recruited us. They came to Greeley, and we had great pitching, and so they recruited three of us.
Wow. So
And
you played basically it was a Negro League team,
it
right?
was, yeah, yeah. And anyway, he would. I mean, these are guys. They've got jobs and families, and my name's Jan. But Vern would be in the on deck circle smoking a cigarette, and it would be time, okay, it's time for him to go up. And he had callus. He'd put the cigarette out on this callus on his hand, put it in his back pocket. It
Wow.
was it was the most, which I'm going to post, the most memorable summer of baseball I ever had.
Wow.
They could not have been nicer, more accepting to me.
It's beautiful.
It was just, and all the other semi-pro teams were all white.
Right.
And I just, it was, I don't know if I told you, this is priceless. There was a guy who played from Denver. He played at Mesa. His name was Barry Lurch. Threw for the Phillies.
Wait. Randy Lurch. There was a Randy Lurch.
Well, this is Barry Lurch.
Oh, Barry Lurch. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
threw for the
Yeah.
Phillies. Anyway, had a big time major league hook. That's what got him into the big leagues. He threw
Right.
six years in the bigs. But one night, we, the Merchants, the black team, are playing I don't remember what their name was, and Lurch is throwing for him. And he's got the big hook going, and I'm throwing heat. And it's like the fifth or sixth inning, and we're ahead like 2-3-1. And the dugouts had chain link backing. So I'm sitting there, and did I tell you this story?
No.
Poke in the back. And I turn around. We're up, so everybody's in the dugout. And it's an elderly black man with a nice hat. And now it's 80 degrees out. It's summer. And he's got on an overcoat. And I can tell by his face that he's had a lot of liquid refreshment. And he's sticking his finger through the fence, poking me in the back. And so I look at him and he goes, "Touch my finger." I said, "What?" He says, "Touch my finger." So, and all the guys are watching. So I reach out and touch his finger and he goes, "You was cool on the mound, baby." And he turns around and walks off. These guys are in hysterics. The rest of the summer, I was cool on the mound, baby.
That is great. I love it.
That was a
I love it.
Oh, it was a great summer. Great summer.
Wow. And what was the name of the team?
The Denver Merchants.
Denver Merchants.
And I was going to play for them. There was a big tournament in Greeley, teams from New Mexico, Colorado, Arizona. It was a big tournament. And the guy who ran the team, his name was Gene, and he was a very large, loud, got things done black man. I mean, when he talked to everybody, "Hey, I want to," and we won the tournament, and I was blessed to be MVP. I threw a one-hitter and a no-hitter. And wow. They were all night games, which was such fun. Right. And so they were going to give a trophy to the MVP. And I'm not thinking about that. The game ends, we win, everybody's happy. And I hear him, Gene, coming through the stands up to the press box. "Where's Jan's trophy? Where's Jan?" Here, they gave it to him. So it was, and I was going to play for him the next summer, and then I got in the car wreck, so that was the end. But what a memorable season.
That is amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. It was our field was a rectangle. Right field. Yeah. Home plate was here, and right field was about 220 feet, the fence, and then they put a 20-foot topper on it. Left field was probably 330. Center field was about 7,000. And we had a center fielder. His name was Buck. Buck was probably 6'6", 6'7", could have played for the Broncos.
Wow.
275. He was huge. He hit a home run there. Now, I don't care what league this is. He hit a home run over the center field fence, across the street, on top of a two-story building.
Wow!
It was well over 500 feet.
Wow.
He hit it, and we all went, "What? What?"
Holy smokes.
Yeah, he was a big and just he loved calling me cool on the mound, baby. And I'd go, thanks a lot, Buck.
That is so cool. That's great.
Yeah,
That's great. That's great.
it was fun. It was
Yeah, that's and you had a good receiver.
Vern was when I first started throwing to him, I thought, is this guy going to be able to throw out anybody? Can they steal third on him? I mean, he was so spread out and crouched down. And then, I don't know, second game, third game, whatever, somebody tried, ball flew by me. Guy's out by 3 feet. He's fine. He's going to do
Yeah.
good.
And he threw from the crouch, right? From the
No,
spread.
he'd be kind of up a little. I mean, he came out of it like it was on springs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the
That's
cigarette never
amazing.
came out of his pocket. It was amazing.
And you never hear these stories about guys like that. This is like a gem.
No, no, yeah, uh, I would love to have known the stories of each of them. You know, how did they get here into baseball? Because this was 1964,
Wow.
so it wasn't that long after Jackie came into the
Right.
majors.
Right.
So they had played when they weren't allowed to play white baseball.
Right. Right.
And it
Yeah.
was interesting that they recruited three white guys from
Really.
three
So you weren't
Colorado.
the only white guy on the team, right?
Well, one other one was a pitcher and one was a shortstop. But most of the time when I threw, I was the only white guy on the team.
Wow.
And I felt very safe. And it was just,
That
yes, I say, it was the most memorable summer of any baseball I've ever had.
is amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I wish I had the opportunity to do that. Uh, but I also wish I had the opportunity to watch you pitch. And and
Well, it might not have been as exciting as I worked with pitchers 18 years, and I told them all it's really probably best you never did see me pitch uh, because of
really,
my lack of calm demeanor.
oh, I get you. I get you.
I would, I'm telling these guys, you got to be calm. You got to be. That wasn't me. I was, I was unpleasant on the mound. I guess that's a
I,
good way to put it.
I get it. I get it. It's I tell my students when it comes to business, and by the way, I want to get back to 1964. Um, I said, don't get emotional. It can kill
Right,
you in
right,
deals. Don't get emotional. Be
right.
rational. Coming from a guy who had to learn it the hard way, you know,
Yeah, that's
don't get
right.
emotional. It can cost you a lot of money, and sure
Yeah,
as shooting. I mean, it did. And I tell my students, uh, I got emotional over something, and it was stupid.
yeah.
But
It can
um,
be. It can be.
yeah, it
But
can.
I was kind of like McEnroe. McEnroe, the tennis
Yeah,
player. He
yeah,
would he would go off and just But I saw him after he retired, and he said doing that made him better,
yeah. And
and that was me. It made me better because I wasn't mad at a player on my team. I was mad at me.
and in business, it's different
Right, right,
because it
right.
impacts other people.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'll tell you who else was like that. Arabaski, remember him?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He would just walk off the mound and scream, and yeah, and the same thing. Who was that guy for the Detroit Tigers?
Mark
Tall, thin,
Mark Fidrich.
Mark Fidrich. He would
I've got a signed ball by him.
really from Fidrich. He
What an interesting dude he was.
very interesting. He reminded me of Big Bird. They used to call him Big Bird.
They did.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah,
bird. Yeah,
yeah. And a very interesting dude. I loved watching him. Oh, Fidrich is the Tigers are playing. I'll watch that game. Thanks.
absolutely, absolutely. And he caught a lot of flies in the outfield, the bird. No, yeah, but he was just kind of eccentric. I mean, he did weird stuff, and you know, I just, I just would go off. You know, again, not at my any players, just
Right.
because I knew I could not stand to walk a guy.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
if I walked somebody, I almost had to be put on Valium. I just, especially a guy I knew who didn't really care about hitting it, you know, was hoping
Uh,
for a walk, and I was dumb enough to walk him. But, you know, it's, you got to have a little bit of that bulldog in you to hit.
in any field, you do.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, in any field,
Yeah.
but you got to be rational when making decisions in business, but not so much in baseball because I agree with you. That steam builds up and you get it in there. You don't want to get in fights or anything, but you get it in there.
No,
And
no.
I wonder how the ABS system would impact you today with walks and stuff. You know, that now that you can appeal a ball or a strike.
Right.
And now I go and I say to myself, why didn't you peel it? I mean, it's so obvious that that was a ball. But then you look at it and
Well,
you go,
they only get two. So,
they only get two, and it's the second inning.
yeah.
Let's see what
Yeah.
happens by the eighth inning. Okay. And I think that happened yesterday. And I went, why is he appealing this? It's the first inning. And he
Yeah.
was wrong. So,
A Yankee did that second pitch of the game.
wow. And was he right?
No, they
See,
lost. So they first inning they lose.
in the
Now,
first,
again, as a manager, do you not have rules about this?
right.
You know, we're not appealing anything till after 5 innings or six something.
Right.
Now, if the bases are loaded in the fourth, possibility of walking in a run, well, okay, maybe we do. But
Yeah.
you know, I don't. Well, there's a lot I don't quite understand.
Do you like the ABS system?
I don't dislike it. I think I don't know this for sure, but I think the umpires have adjusted to it. I think they're okay with it. Um, and you know, some of these calls, a tenth of an inch, it's a
Yeah.
ball.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
how's an umpire gonna? He's not
Right.
gonna see that. I wouldn't hold him accountable for that.
Yeah.
But you know, it's quick. I mean, it's quick.
Very quick. If it
So
was long, it'd be something else, but it takes
yeah,
a thing at a time.
I'm
Put it up on the scoreboard.
it is. It's
Yeah,
so
they
I'm
put up the whole thing.
okay with it. And
Yeah.
maybe younger people, you know, AI stuff, maybe they like it. I don't know. As a
I,
pitchers are not doing much appealing. It's
no, I
too
know.
much catchers and hitters.
I know.
I would not have been good at this.
You
What are you kidding? So,
there, there are less balls and strike arguments. That's for sure.
well, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. Because you
It
can't argue
mitigates
with,
that. Yeah.
yeah,
So, and I think eventually, I don't know, maybe next year, the following year, they'll have one more appeal and then
I
one
bet
more.
that's true. I bet that's
Yeah.
true. Well,
Because
my
it is
question here's a question.
sure.
So you're watching a game, and of course, they got the little outlined strike zone box.
Hmm.
Guy throws a pitch. It's a breaking pitch, let's say.
Right.
And it goes through, and the catcher catches it. And maybe it's a ball, maybe it's a strike. Where is that little box? Is that back? Is that at the front of the plate? Or is it the back of the plate? Where is it?
I say the same thing. I say like, well, wait a minute. It crossed the plate.
Yes.
It crossed the plate and then it went over to he threw a slider or a slurve or whatever the heck it was, and it winds up that the catcher is almost saving it from being a wild pitch, but it crossed the plate.
Yeah.
So isn't it a strike?
Yes, it is. Did it cross over the plate?
Right.
So my question is, should that box be three-dimensional? The ball has to go through the box.
Yeah,
I
that's yeah. They
it
should
just
make it three-dimensional.
it just seems to me wherever that if that's at the front of the plate, you're getting had as a pitcher.
Yeah,
So I don't
you're
know.
right. You're right. So, to me, maybe somebody's thinking that, and maybe it will become more accurate as time goes by. But that I will watch that, like you said, and it's a tenth of an inch. It's a ball.
Oh,
Tenth of an inch. It's a strike. If it doesn't even have to be completely in the box. If it just
right.
hits the corner of the box, it's a strike.
But maybe it went right through the box to land a quarter of an inch on the edge.
That's it.
I I just I don't know. I don't know. I You and I are maybe just too far ahead of the game. I don't know.
I am going to call the commissioner and tell him,
You
I'm
should.
going to say, just watch Jan and Dan go yard and then make your decision.
Yeah. Where is the box?
Where's the box?
And
Yeah,
doesn't it always look the same size?
yeah. That's
Okay.
all. Yeah,
Judge is up 6'7".
that's another thing. Yeah.
Altuve's 5'8". I'm sorry.
Wait, is he 5'8" or 5'6"?
Whatever. He's tiny. I just I don't.
Altuve is, I think, well, Freddie Petak was 5'4".
Wow.
He played for the Royals most of his career.
And Pedroia was small.
What?
Justin Pedroia was small, the second
Yeah,
baseman.
Justin Pedroia was an interesting guy. He was like his flame went out little by little by little, and then where was he? What happened to Justin?
I know he had some injuries,
He did.
but I remember a story about him. I think they were playing in Fenway, and I don't know who they were playing, but whoever they were playing was they were throwing a rookie pitcher who brought it 100 miles an hour,
Right.
and so Pedroia's up, and the guy cuts one loose at 100, and Pedroia hits it over the green monster.
Wow.
And then he yells to the pitcher, 100 in, 110 out. This was before they knew what the velocity was.
Right, right, right.
I
Yeah,
mean, he liked to spark things.
yeah. And I liked watching him. I
Oh, I
liked
did too.
and Nomar Garcia Parra.
Yeah.
No more. Nomar's name was, I think, Raymond spelled backwards.
Oh, that could well be.
Yeah, Nomar was Raymond spelled backwards.
Yeah.
I
Wonder
think
if that was
his father's
intentional.
name was Raymond. They named him Nomar, or something like that. Some wild story. But now
So
that
you'd be Nad and I'd be Nadge.
that's true, now that would make it a very interesting title.
Nad and Nadge go yard.
Right. Yes. Where's your name? Right there. Dan
Yeah.
and Jim.
Yeah.
And shout out to Peter for making that. Or maybe I made that. Peter made the other one. But anyway, um, so we were talking and we're closing in. Well, we got another 15 minutes or so.
Okay.
Um, we were talking about fielders.
Right.
Okay. And as soon as I hear about there are three people that come to mind. Willie Mays,
Oh, yeah.
Willie Mays, and Brooks Robinson and Mike Schmidt.
Right.
Okay, um, they to me were three of the best fielders I ever saw.
Oh, well, for me, Willie Mays was the greatest player I ever saw.
Yeah,
But
Willie, and may he rest in peace. He just passed away this year, right?
last year, I think.
Last year.
Yeah, yeah, he was. They talk about five tools. Well, he had them to the max.
Yeah, he
I
did.
saw a story the other day about him. Ball players were talking, and they said if he was on third base, he would take off for home based on the trajectory of the pitch. He knew it was going to
Wow.
be in the dirt.
Wow.
And well, I
Wow.
remember somebody telling a story. He would, uh, if he was on third and a guy hit a short pop into right, and the second baseman would go back out to get it, and Willie would, he'd kind of come off, and then he'd go back to the base. As soon as the guy caught it, he'd tag up and head home and force the guy to make a good throw at the dish.
Yeah.
I mean,
Huh.
his baseball IQ was off the charts.
Yeah, and there's one other guy from a hitting standpoint in his time. Well, of course, there's Stan Musial was great,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
and Luke Snyder and Mickey and Richie Ashburn, but um,
Clemente. Yeah.
Clemente, yeah. Um, Hank Aaron, I think, does not, and I know this sounds weird, doesn't get the accolades
No.
that, that Willie Mays gets because Willie played in New York most of the time. Then they moved to San
Yeah.
Francisco.
Yeah.
But if you look at just from a statistics standpoint, Hank Aaron's numbers and Willie Mays' numbers, they're almost exact. I mean, in some places,
Yeah.
Hank surpassed him.
Yeah.
Uh, and in other ones, Willie surpassed Hank. But uh, those guys, if you ever had a chance to watch the Braves and the Giants, I mean, it was like a gift from God, you know?
Oh, yeah. Mays was such a dynamic fielder.
Yeah.
I mean, he had the basket catch.
Yeah.
And I saw some guy the other day who was around him, and he said that wasn't showboating. He did it intentionally because he said he could catch the ball here and get rid of it quicker,
Yeah.
catching it up here and bringing it down.
Makes perfect sense.
It does.
It
Yeah.
was it,
Yeah.
it was innovative. You still don't see people doing that.
No. Well, that Willie Mays Hayes tried it in Major League, but that didn't go well. Um,
Yeah.
Plus, he
Willie,
missed time for the service in the military. He still had 660 home runs. I mean, many would he have had he not missed that time?
I agree with you. Yeah.
So, but that for me, I never, ever, or have I ever since seen a ball player as good as he was.
Yeah. He had all the tools.
He
He
was
was,
he could run. He
yeah.
had a cannon of an arm. They had an exhibition game here. The Giants came here when I was a kid to play an exhibition game, and it was called Bear Stadium. Wasn't what it is now.
Right.
And I don't know how far center field was. Wasn't It was maybe 380 or something, and he threw a ball over the center field fence,
Wow. From where?
home plate.
Oh my God. Wow. Wow.
I mean, talk about a cannon.
Yeah.
So
Holy smokes. So wait a minute now. Were the Denver Bears the baseball team at the time?
yeah,
Weren't
they
they
were
the
a AAA affiliate. They eventually were the AAA affiliate of the Yankees.
Now, what about the Denver Zephyrs? Is that
That became. Uh, then they built Mile High Stadium for football,
right?
and then they became the Denver Zephyrs.
And they played in that stadium.
Played in the Yeah, and then our first 2 years with the Rockies, we played at Mile High Stadium,
Well,
which was a football field that they converted. They put in stands in left field that they could move back
right,
on
right.
this water thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
like they did in L.A. when they played at Memorial Stadium.
yeah,
And
yeah. But the locker rooms there were football locker rooms, and uh, that 93 when I started throwing for them, the locker room was hideous. Um, it just it was old, and all the Don Baylor had an office, and then everybody else, the coaches, all the players, all of us, were in one big locker room.
Wow.
I mean, just in this circular thing. I remember when I got the job, I had to pull into the parking lot and then go through security. It was my first day, going to be throwing BP. So I had to come in this door, and then there was Baylor's office.
Wow.
And then in the locker room. So I thought, well, I'll say hi. You know, I'd never met him. So he's at his desk and he's working, and I step in the door and he looks up at me, and I said, hi, I'm the batting practice pitcher, Jan Sumner. And he goes, okay. But he wound up being so great to me. And when I wrote Legacy of a Monarch about Byron Johnson, the Negro League, I've got a special card he sent me thanking me for doing it because he knew Byron.
Wow.
I thought the world of Baylor. He just, and he's not a guy I would have ever messed with.
Yeah.
He was a big time football player, and he was. I don't know if you want another funny story, but
Absolutely.
I think it was our first year at Coors, and before I'd met Karen, I was dating a gal, and we were going to put on a duck race for charity. The Platte River runs down, so we were going to sell all these rubber ducks, and then all the money would be raised, and the Rockies charity fund thing would match however much we raised, they'd match it. And all the players got behind it, and Baylor got behind it, and we had ordered a duck suit, kind of like the San Diego Chicken. This was
right.
a duck suit, and we were going to have a press conference out at Coors, and I was going to run it with some of the players' wives and whatever. And I happened to be, and Baylor had wanted to come to the meeting, to the press conference, but Gebhardt had called him up to his office for a meeting, so he couldn't make the press conference. But we had other, Hurdle was there and whatever. Like the next day, I happened to be walking in the same time as he was. Just the two of us walking through the tunnel to get to the clubhouse. And he says, Jan, I'm sorry, I really wanted to make the press conference, but I got called to a meeting. I said, that's done. It's okay. I said, and the duck race was going to be run on his birthday.
Whoa.
So we're heading toward the clubhouse, and he said, he apologized. And I said, Don, it's okay. We've got this really cool duck suit. And Becky, his wife, told us at the press conference that you would wear it on the day of the duck race. And, we're walking along, and boom, he stops. And he turns and faces me, and I look at him, and he goes, that's not happening. I said, yeah, I know. I was just kidding. He was great.
He was in baseball for a long time.
Forever.
Is he still? What's he doing now?
Oh, he passed away.
He passed away?
Yeah, he had bone cancer. He had bone cancer a few years ago. I just the opening game for the Diamondbacks,
right,
was down. And I'm throwing BP for the Rockies. So the first game they're going to be playing it was called the Bob then, Bank One Ballpark. They just called it the Bob. So Hurdle must have been 97. I've got a ticket over there. I got a hold Hurdle. I said, hey, can I come down and throw BP at the new ballpark before the game? And he says, I'll look into it. Absolutely. I'll check it. And Serbo, the guy I told you about, the great catcher, receiver, I had him throwing BP for the Rockies too. And I had a good friend in Phoenix. We were going to fly down, stay with him, and then throw BP before the first game of the Arizona Diamondbacks. So we get down there, And Hurdle had gotten us tickets. We were like 10 rows up behind the Rockies dugout, which is on the first base side. And we can't throw BP because of all the ceremonies. They didn't even take BP.
Oh.
So Dennis and I just go to our seats, for the game. And the game hasn't started yet. And I hear this voice a few rows behind me go, Jan. And I turn around and it's Becky Baylor, who I loved. She was just awesome. And I look back and I go, hi, Becky. And she goes, how did you get better seats than me? And I said, I know somebody. I don't know how I wound up with better seats than Becky Baylor, but we had better seats.
That is that's a great story.
Yeah.
And Jan, this has been a great show today.
Oh, yeah. It was
Great
fun as
stuff.
always. Fun as always.
Yeah. And folks, tell people to subscribe, will you? You can see us on YouTube and listen to us on Spotify. This has been Dan and Jan Go Yard. And don't forget, Jan Sumner is the man.
Oh,
with the Rockies for 6 years.
No, you're the man. So
well,
we wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you. So.
Well, the two of us together are a great team.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you probably in 2 weeks.
Yes. Yeah.
2 weeks. So,
right.
Jan, great seeing you.
You too, Dan.
Have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Folks, on Dan and Jan Go Yard.
Or dig it. There you go. Or Nad and Nadge. Okay. Take care, Dan.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.